Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. A lot of women are out here stressing, wondering, what do I need to do to make a man commit? What's the secret? What's the one move that'll make him get down on one knee and beg me to be his wife? And the truth is, it's not about chasing him, tricking him, or bending yourself out of shape just to keep him. No, ma'am. The one move that'll make a man beg to marry you is all about knowing your value, standing firm in it, and refusing to accept less than you deserve. Let me break it down for you. The most powerful move a woman can ever make is drawing the line. See, when you decide in your heart what you will and will not accept, you change the entire game. Too many women let men slide by with behavior that doesn't deserve their time, their energy, or their love, and then they wonder why he won't commit. It's because he doesn't have to. If you're letting a man show up late, cancel on you, keep you waiting, play games with your feelings, and you just keep allowing it, you teaching him how to treat you. But the day you say no more, I'm not accepting this. If you want me, you're going to have to show up like a man. That's the day everything changes. Boundaries are not walls, they're filters. They don't keep the good men out, they just block the wrong ones from wasting your time. Let me explain something about men. We respect what we can't just walk over. We admire the strength that makes us step our game up. Men know when they've met a woman who values herself because she doesn't bend her standards for convenience. And that's the one move right there that makes him sit back and think, hold on. I can't play with her like I do with the rest. If I want her, I better come correct. That's not being mean. That's not being difficult. That's having self-respect. You can love a man, care for him, and want the relationship to work, but if you have no boundaries, you're setting yourself up to be taken for granted. Every man has a point where he realizes he either has to step up or lose the woman who makes him feel like he can be better. And believe me, that point doesn't come when you nag, beg, or chase him. It comes when you draw the line and mean it. The moment you calmly say, I don't accept this kind of treatment, I'm worth more than this, you shift the balance. He now has a choice, rise to the standard or walk away. And here's the thing, if he walks away, you didn't lose anything, you just cleared the path for the right man to step in. A man values what he has to work for. That's why when he earns your trust, your love, your commitment, he holds on tighter. If you give it all away too soon without him proving himself, he won't see the value. But when you have boundaries, when you make him earn your time and your trust, you stand out from every woman he's ever met. You're not another option, you're the priority. And when a man realizes that he doesn't just want to keep you around, he starts thinking about how to keep you forever. That's where marriage comes in. And that's where some women are scared to draw the line because they think it'll drive a man away. Let me tell you, if a man walks away because you have standards, he wasn't your man to begin with. The right one will look at that line and say, that's exactly the kind of woman I need in my life. Men are wired to protect and provide, and we can only do that when we see a woman who knows her worth. A man will not commit to confusion. He commits to clarity. And nothing is clearer than a woman who knows where she stands and isn't afraid to show it. That one move, drawing the line, isn't just about keeping men in check. It's about keeping yourself in check. It's reminding yourself that you're not here to beg for love. You're not here to chase attention, and you're not here to settle for less than what makes you happy. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate, and the minute you decide you will not tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or games, you force a man to make a choice. Either he rises up and proves himself, or he leaves. And if he rises up, that's when you'll see him start talking about rings, vows, and forever. Men are hunters by nature, but here's the truth that most women miss. They don't marry what comes too easy. A man might play with easy, he might flirt with easy, he might even stay around easy for a while. But when it comes to marriage, he doesn't settle down with easy. He marries the prize. He marries the woman who made him stretch, grow, and rise to a higher level just to have her. That's the move right there, being the prize. The one move that makes him beg to marry you isn't chasing after him. It's not throwing yourself into his arms. It's not lowering your standards to keep him around. The move is simply holding your ground in such a way that he realizes you're not like everybody else. That a man sees a woman who knows her worth, he takes note. And when he realizes that access to her love, her time, and her body requires respect, consistency, and commitment, he starts moving different. He'll start calling you more, showing up on time, putting in the work, not because you asked him to, but because he understands the assignment. He knows he's not dealing with someone he can charm for a little while and then get lazy with. He knows he's dealing with a prize. And men don't want to lose the prize. They protect it, they cherish it, they claim it. That's how men are wired. I tell you something about men that women sometimes overlook. Men love to win. And the biggest win a man can ever achieve is securing the woman that no other man could keep. When you carry yourself like a woman who will not be conquered cheaply, you set yourself apart. You're telling him with your actions, if you want me, you'll have to show up different. And men love that challenge because once they win it, they hold it close. And that's why the one move that makes him beg for marriage is not being the woman he can get without effort, but being the woman he has to work for and keep working for every single day. Some women make the mistake of thinking they have to convince a man to marry them. They start doing everything under the sun, cooking, cleaning, paying bills, bending themselves backwards just to prove their wife material. But here's the catch. If you're doing all that without requiring anything from him, he won't see it as valuable, he'll see it as free. A man values what costs him something. That doesn't mean money, it means effort, sacrifice, consistency. If he has to change his habits, prioritize you, invest his time, protect your heart, and earn your trust, that's when he starts realizing this woman isn't just a girlfriend, she's a wife. The truth is, men don't want to marry convenience. They want to marry significance. If he can get you in every part of you without giving you his all, why would he feel the need to lock it down? But when he sees you're not a convenience, you're a standard, that's when the urgency kicks in. That's when he starts thinking about making sure no one else ever gets the chance to step into his place. And the only way to do that is to marry you. That's why the move isn't begging him, it's showing him with your confidence and your standards that you are worth the effort. The prize mindset isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about aligning your actions with your value. You don't settle for breadcrumbs. You don't chase a man. You don't give away everything without commitment. You sit in your worth and let him rise to it. And when a man rises to it, when he proves himself, when he gives you his best, he's not just trying to date you, he's trying to keep you. That's when the ring comes out. So understand this, a man will always run after what feels like a prize. Not a prize because it's unattainable, but a prize because it's worth the work. The one move that makes him beg to marry you is becoming and remaining that prize. The woman who knows what she brings to the table and refuses to accept less. When you hold that standard, the right man won't just want you, he'll beg to keep you forever. Never underestimate the power of self-respect. A woman who truly respects herself doesn't have to say much. She doesn't have to argue. She doesn't have to prove anything. Her actions speak for her. A man can tell right away when he's dealing with a woman who loves herself loud enough that she won't let anyone treat her any kind of way. And let me tell you something, that is one of the most attractive things a man can encounter. A woman who carries herself with self-respect makes a man either step up or step out. And either way, she wins. If he steps up, she gets the best version of him. If he steps out, she clears the way for someone better. Self-respect is like a shield. It protects you from settling and pushes men to show you their real intentions. A man begs to marry the woman who makes him better just by being herself. That's because when you respect yourself, you set a tone, you set an atmosphere, you make it clear that if he's going to be with you, he has to operate at a higher level. You don't even have to demand it with your words. Your presence demands it. And here's the thing about men. We may act like we don't notice, but trust me, we do. We notice the woman who refuses to be treated like a second option. We notice the woman who isn't impressed by half effort. We notice the woman who keeps her standards, no matter how good looking, how smooth, or how charming a man might be. That's the woman who makes a man stop and think about his own behavior. That's the woman who makes him change. See, self-respect is not just about saying no, it's also about how you say yes. A woman who respects herself doesn't just say yes to any man, she says yes to the right man. She doesn't say yes to chaos, confusion, or inconsistency. She says yes to effort, yes to honesty, yes to someone who is ready to give her what she gives back. And when a man realizes she won't just fall for words, that she's waiting on actions, that's when he starts moving differently. He knows he can't come into her life with games because she's not playing games with herself. A man may be able to fool a woman who doesn't know her worth, but he can't fool a woman who respects herself. She sees through the excuses. She notices the patterns, and she isn't afraid to walk away. That's powerful because men chase what they fear losing. When a man sees you have the courage to walk away from him if he doesn't step up, he suddenly finds a whole new level of commitment. He doesn't want to risk another man stepping into your life and giving you what he refused to. That's when you start seeing him act right, not because you forced him, but because you inspired him by the way you treated yourself. Let's be real. When you respect yourself, you stop being scared of being alone. You're not sitting there saying, what if no one else comes along? You know that you're enough with or without a man. And that confidence makes you magnetic. Men are drawn to it because it's rare. They can find beauty anywhere, but self-respect, that's special. That's what makes a man think about forever, because he knows a woman who respects herself is going to bring that same respect into his life, his home, and his future. The truth is, self-respect doesn't just change how a man sees you, it changes how you see yourself. When you stop tolerating less, you stop wasting time. When you stop begging for love, you start receiving real love. And when you stand firm in your worth, you attract a man who sees it, values it, and wants to honor it. That's why men beg to marry the woman with self-respect, because deep down, every man knows that kind of woman is rare. And when a man finally finds her, he doesn't want to risk letting her go. Don't confuse patience with wasting time. That's a lesson a lot of people have to learn the hard way. Being patient in love means giving a relationship space to grow, allowing a man the time to show who he really is, and not rushing things before they're ready. But wasting time, that's when you sit around for years letting a man drag you along with no real plan, no commitment, and no intention of ever stepping up. And the move that makes him beg to marry you is knowing the difference and having the courage to act on it. When you show a man through your actions that you're not afraid to walk away if he's not serious, you instantly raise the stakes. See, when you're patient, you give love a chance to develop naturally. You let the relationship breathe, you let him pursue you, and you allow time to reveal his character. But the moment you start ignoring red flags, overlooking broken promises, and excusing bad behavior in the name of patience, you're no longer being patient. You're wasting time. And let me tell you, nothing motivates a man like realizing you won't waste your time on him. That's when he feels the urgency. That's when he starts to see he's not the only option. And if he doesn't lock you down, someone else will. Men have a way of getting comfortable if you let them. If you're always available, if you accept crumbs instead of the full loaf, if you keep waiting on him to make up his mind, he'll keep dragging it out because he knows he can. But the second you show him with your actions that you're not scared to lose him, his comfort disappears. He starts asking himself, what if another man steps in and gives her everything I've been holding back? That thought alone can flip a switch in a man's mind. Suddenly, he's realizing he can't risk losing you, and the only way to secure you is to commit to you. You don't even have to give speeches about it. You don't have to argue or cry or beg. You just have to live it. Your consistency in respecting your own time sends the message. If he calls only when it's convenient for him and you don't answer, you've drawn a line. If he avoids talking about the future and you stop investing your energy, you've drawn a line. If he doesn't treat you like a priority and you distance yourself, you've drawn a line. Man notices those things and it shakes him up, because while he thought you'd just wait forever, he suddenly sees you won't. That's when his actions change. Patience means giving a man the opportunity to rise to the occasion. Wasting time means giving him endless chances when he's already shown you he won't. The woman who knows the difference becomes unforgettable. That's the woman who makes a man realize, I can't play with her, because if I do, she'll move on. And that realization is powerful. It forces him to decide either commit or get left behind. And if he truly wants you, if he truly values you, he won't let the thought of losing you become reality. He'll do whatever it takes to make sure you're his for life. Men don't respond to nagging, but they respond to consequences. When you show a man you will walk away rather than settle for less, you're giving him the greatest consequence he can imagine, life without you. And that's the consequence that makes him step up, buy the ring, and make it official. Because at the end of the day, a man knows another man out there would gladly give you the world if he did. And no man wants to be the fool who let the right woman slip away. So the one move that makes him beg to marry you isn't about begging him, pushing him, or giving him unlimited time to figure it out. It's about showing him with your actions that your time is valuable and you won't waste it on someone who doesn't see your worth. That clarity separates patience from wasted years, and it's that clarity that makes a man realize he has to step up now or lose you forever. A man knows when he's got something rare. You don't have to beg him, pressure him, or convince him. The one move that makes him beg to marry you is creating a life so whole, so happy, and so fulfilled on your own that he realizes you're not with him out of need, you're with him out of choice. That's powerful. When a man sees that you're already living with purpose, chasing your goals, taking care of yourself, and building your own happiness, he understands that being with you is a privilege, not a requirement. That's what separates you from the rest. See, a lot of women get caught up thinking they have to pour everything into a man to prove their worth. But when you're already standing tall on your own, when your joy doesn't depend on him, you flip the whole dynamic. Instead of him thinking she needs me, he starts thinking I need her. And that shift is what pushes him toward commitment. A man doesn't beg to marry someone who clings to him. He begs to marry the woman who inspires him. When you build your own happiness, you set the tone for the relationship. You show him that you're not waiting for him to complete you. You're inviting him to add to the life you've already built. That makes him proud to stand beside you. It also makes him protective because he knows other men will see the same thing he sees. A woman who is confident, accomplished, and whole. That fear of losing you to another man who recognizes your value lights a fire in him. Men commit when they realize the woman they're with is irreplaceable. And what makes you irreplaceable is not just how much you love him, but how much you've invested in loving yourself and your life. A man begs to marry the woman who doesn't just make his life better, but who already shines so bright on her own that he feels lucky just to be in her orbit. That's not arrogance. That's value. And when he sees it, he'll do whatever it takes to hold on to it forever. At the end of the day, the one move that changes everything is choosing yourself first. When you put yourself at the center of your life, when you make your happiness, your peace, and your standards the priority, you automatically shift the way men treat you. A man can sense it when a woman values herself. He can feel it in the way you walk, the way you talk, and the way you handle situations. And when a man sees that you're not going to bend just to keep him, he knows he has to bend to keep you. That's where the begging comes in. Choosing yourself doesn't mean being selfish. It means being whole. It means you don't lose yourself in the process of loving someone else. Too many women give up their dreams, their identity, and their standards just to hold on to a man. But the truth is, that only makes him take you for granted. The man who truly wants you doesn't want you broken down. He wants you strong. He doesn't want you desperate. He wants you confident. And the only way to show him that is to choose yourself first. When you decide that your worth is non-negotiable, everything changes. You stop chasing, you stop begging, and you stop waiting for someone else to validate you. You start living in a way that says, I am enough with or without you. And that attitude is magnetic. It draws in the kind of man who doesn't just want to be around you, he wants to secure you for life. He knows if he doesn't, somebody else will. The truth is, men respect what they have to earn, and nothing is more worth earning than a woman who puts herself first. Because when you choose yourself, you're teaching him how to love you. You're showing him what it takes to keep you. And the right man will rise to the occasion. He won't just want you. He'll beg to keep you. He'll beg to secure you. And he'll beg to spend his life